Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Wednesday night. I have been excited about tonight for I don't know, for a whole week. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So if you guys see me looking up, that's Instagram. That's me going hi to Instagram. So hi to Instagram. And I am do you know that I botched your name before I even had you on here? I botched your last name. I was like, Saucier. And then I'm trying to make this all, but we've got Ryanne Saucier on, and I'm so excited to have you on. You are such a joy. I've been so excited getting to know you as we talk, even more than when we had our introduction. So I'm going to tell you guys, Ryanne is the new host of a podcast called How Do I Do This? How Do I Do This? With Ryanne.
Yeah.
And it is phenomenal. Those first 3 episodes, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. I'm like, way to go. Way to go. Way to go. You did such a great job. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you know, everyone knows this because most people don't. But oh gosh, and I just dropped the phone. So welcome to my world.
Technical difficulties.
Welcome to my world. It's okay. I was trying to get the charger in there. Now we're good. Now we're good. All right. You are not only just a new podcaster, you are actually a media lawyer, and you're a mom.
And a mom.
And you juggling so much, and I want you to know, kudos to you because you're doing it beautifully. You're absolutely
thank you.
So you're welcome. You're welcome. And let me just quickly say hello to people. Hello, Ellen Jane. Thanks for being here. Christy, hello. Ren, hello. Chris, hello. Jennifer, hello, hello. Me Spark. You spark, me spark. Hello, hello, hello. Mandy, thanks for being here. And Phyllis. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Phyllis. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Guys, come on in. Don't be shy. Everyone, come on. Lisa Nolan Shalowski, thank you for being here on Instagram. I appreciate you being here. And hey, Karen, thank you for being here. So let's get into this. Ryanne and I met through 2 wonderful friends. So our mutual friend Colleen and our mutual friend Emily are both talking in her ear saying, you need to have a session with Elias. Yeah. And you tell the story. I talk a lot. You tell the story.
Yeah. So it was a Tuesday, and Colleen posted that she had talked with a medium. She didn't say who. And Emily had already mentioned you. And so then when Colleen said it a few weeks later, I sent Colleen a text and I said, girl, tell me, I'm curious. And then it was the same person. It was you. And so I am somebody who trusts my intuition a lot. It's always led me the right way. When I've ignored it, it's also, slapped me upside the head. And so I said, well, okay, well, if 2 smart women are recommending the same person, then, well, I'm supposed to connect with this person. And so I sent you a text, and you called so quickly that I was like, well, he just butt dialed me. But then I remember you said, I trust my intuition, and I just thought I should call you. And I was like, oh, well, hi. And then we realized we had a lot of other very unique, coincidental things in our life. And I think I'm still learning things that I'm like, oh yeah, like why haven't we met 20 years or 30 years ago?
Well, you were one 30 years ago. So that's why.
Yeah.
You're only 1 year old.
Right. But yeah, we just have a lot in common. And as far as our belief and how we treat people, and also just random, weird, quirky facts. Like your mother had the elaborate Christmas china set up. So did my mom. Like not everybody went all out as my mom and your mom did. And so that is a shared experience, but there's a lot of those little things.
And your energy just was so easy to. Oh, what's that?
I don't know. What is it?
It's our mother's cooking. So,
Like,
hey Amanda, good to see you. Charmin, hello. Jennifer wants to know where you're from.
I grew up in Alabama, but now I live in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So I grew up in small South Alabama, and I've made the tour of the South through law school, undergrad, and now I'm in Atlanta, and that's where we will be for the foreseeable future.
And Beverly says hello, and Patricia
Hi.
hello. So when we are when we were talking, there was just like you said, there was like this synergy. It was like talking to an old friend. Everyone, I
Mhm.
really, really have to say that listening to your very first episode, it's like I got to know you deeper, and that first episode really brought tears to my eyes. I mean, I just your mom, Miss Sharon, was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have loved to known her. She's just an amazing sounding person, and you lifted her. You lifted her memory, you lifted her just all the things that you talked about her. Just, I mean, I could feel the love, and I'm just like, I like Ryanne even more now than I did before. So do you want to tell a little people, everybody, how tell a little people, tell the little people, tell everybody how you got started with your podcast?
So I lost my mom. Saturday will be 9 months ago. So it's still very, very fresh. And even before I lost her, I had connected with you, Elias, and you know this story. And I had told my mom about it because she was very much into the side of the world. And as long as I can remember, she would always tell me, love is energy and it never goes anywhere. And we will always be together, even when I'm not here. And I remember, even as a very young child, I was like, and looking back, I'm like, why were you telling a 4-year-old that? But nonetheless, so I told her about our conversation, and y'all who are listening, y'all are going to freak out about this story. I don't even share this on the podcast, but she said, she kept saying, have you scheduled your session with Elias yet? And I said, no, Mom, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, probably I will. And she was very insistent. She said, and this was in the 6 weeks before she passed. She said, and she even said, she said, do you want me to send you some money? And I was like, Mom, I'm good. That's really sweet, but I'm good. And she's like, I think you need to pull some money aside. You're going to want to talk to him around your birthday. And she said it more than once. My mom passed 6 days before my birthday. And because back in the day, we used to watch Montel Williams, and Sylvia Brown was on there. And she has probably owns right now, if I was to go to my parents' house, there's every Sylvia Brown book on her shelf still. And, and then my mom passed right before my birthday, right before Thanksgiving. And so in February, when my husband said, what do you want to do for Valentine's Day? So Mary, the quirky girl, right? She doesn't want chocolate or flowers. She would like to talk with her deceased mother through a medium, please. And so we did. And then that's sort of, I share that to say, like, that's the headspace I was in from November to February. Really hard to get out of bed every day. A lot of things I didn't recognize myself. I started procrastinating, which was never like me. Brain fog, exhaustion like I've never felt before. But for having a grade school child, I really probably would have just stayed in the bed. And truly, winter is not a good time for me. And so that was that whole period. And so one morning in March, when I was having my prayer time and meditation, I just received and I've been doing this practice since I was in my 20s. I received a very strong, what I call download. And and it was just very clear. It said, Ryan, show people what you're doing. And I was like, what? And I journaled it in my journal, show people what you're doing. And so when I pray, I journal and I write to God, to what I believe is God. And then I write back what I feel, I don't know if I would say here, but think back, um, and show people how you're grieving. And I was like, well, it's kind of weird. I don't know that I'm doing anything great. Um, and then it occurred to me, my mom was a teacher. And so I started floating this idea around some girlfriends and my husband, he's my confidant. I said, what if I write a book after all this is over with? And then the opportunity came up for me to pitch a different idea. And I said, just a series of things happened. And I pitched this idea of a podcast, and they said, okay, well, we'll do 2 episodes. And I said, all right. And then they said, you need to go do research. You need to do this. So I just did the next best thing that the truly creative people know how to do. Cause I'm an attorney. I'm just a geeky lawyer with an idea. And then when they saw what I had drafted and got on board with the vision of what I think and I hope this grows to be, they said, okay, well, we'll do 8 episodes. And by the way, we want to record you. I was like, wait, what? I didn't agree to all that. And so between March and August 5th, we created over 6 hours of content with the purpose of, I am still very much figuring out who the new me is. I am an average mom. I don't have a chef. I don't have a nanny. I don't have a house manager. We don't have any family nearby. And I'm really, and I'll swear this, just trying to figure out what the fuck to do from day to day to keep the wheels on the bus. And so I wanted to have these conversations with people who are really smart and provide just your average family some ideas and resources and things to try. Not because I have answers, I don't. But I'm really good at asking questions, blame it on the day job, and just being curious about how people do things well. So here we are. That was a really long answer. I'm sorry.
No, it's a great answer. And the curiosity, I think, is what keeps everything alive. It keeps I want to know the why. And that's what I always said is like, why? And, no matter all the woo-woo classes that I've done and the retreats that I've been an attendee on, or the life coaching stuff that I've done and the life coaching retreat stuff that I've done, I'm always like, why? Why are we doing what we're doing? I'll go ahead and like squawk like a chicken, like everybody else is doing for this exercise. But why are we squawking? I just want to know why we're squawking. As we're doing our this place called Pathways to Successful Living, we're doing this exercise, and it was $1,800, something like that, for 5 days. Like we're talking from 8 a.m. to like 10 o'clock at night. Crazy, right? You're in it, right? And this woman, I'm 5'4". I know, everyone, you think I'm 6'2". When you all meet me, you're like, God, you're short. That's the first thing that everybody tells me.
And that's something else we have in common. I am barely 5'4".
See, I would have thought you were taller.
No way.
Exactly. Humorous, thanks for the follow. And Murph Beck, hello, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. So when I'm there, we need a volunteer. All right, I paid $1,800 for this. I'm going to raise my hand, right? And she said, I want you to stand in the center of the room. All right. The rest of you, I want one of you, 7 people, one of you to grab here, one of you to grab here, one of you to grab Elias's hood, and then 2 of you to grab his sweatpants, and somebody grab his sweatshirt in front. On the count of 3, I want you to pull him in that direction and say, Elias, I need you. I was like, okay. So there I am being like, jostled around. And in my head, I'm like, I wonder what the purpose of this is. It's fascinating to me, right? So I'm like, all right, Elias, you've done some retreats. Just focus on How do you make them stop? So I got super butch and I'm like, enough, as deep as I could. What's up, man? Yeah, enough. Right. So only happened 6 times. So I did that. Everybody stopped. She comes up to me, like literally, Ryanne and everybody else, right here, and she said, "Yes. When is enough enough?
Mm.
Put your life on the back burner for everybody else." It took me 46 years to realize I was a people pleaser. And it took 4 years to slowly move out of it. And then it took 2 years of practice to finally set foot and say, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So those ahas and those things always go through my mind. But to bring this back, like with the podcast, it's like, well, how do I do that? How do I step into not being a people pleaser, not being a fixer, not being a control freak, and not being a perfectionist?
Yeah, and I think that was true for all of me too, because if you listen to the first episode and I talk about my mom, I also wanted to show, and as the episodes go along, that my mom had amazing, wonderful qualities about her. And she would tell you this: it was very challenging to also be her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She is not this idyllic character, this idyllic mother. She's very human, very flawed. um, in her final months, we talked about things that she wished she had done differently, or she would see how I was parenting my son and say, you want to rethink that. I did that with you. And this is why you have that little, that's, quirk that's challenging. And so, um, I guess, part of this and the title, How Do I Do This, is an homage to that mother relationship, because or father relationship, whoever your parents were, because they are our first Google search. We take everything to them, right?
Right.
And now, who is my true north that I take things to in big or small ways? And I don't know yet. I also don't really know who this new version of me is, because the bitch I was November 22nd, she left the room. I'm still like, hey, you out there, girl? You can come back anytime. I don't think she gone. So the podcast is very much, I want to give people tools, but it has just been as healing for me to be in this space and to create and to have interesting conversations with people.
What you're doing is very unique. What you are doing is you're sharing your journey as you're going through it. A lot of people share their journey after they went through it and said, oh, this, but you are doing it like, here it is. I don't know this. I don't know. And it's everybody, it's not just about grief. It's about, how do I become what do I do after being an empty nester? What do I do in the throes of divorce or whatever it is? How do I handle this as I'm losing weight? I don't know who I am anymore, or whatever it is. You're covering so many amazing fashion. You even talk about, fashion on this. How do I reframe who I am? How do I dress for success and feel better about myself?
Yeah, the episode with Emily, I talk about the fact that right after my mom passed, I was in a slump of emotional eating and nothing in my closet fit. And I did not recognize my body. So, in addition to having grief, like all of a sudden, nothing fits comfortably. I don't feel like getting out of bed. So, what the hell do I do? Well, thankfully, I had Emily in my life that I could call and say, girlfriend, help me. I still have to put on the attorney costume, as I say, and look apart, right? And play a role. And so she's in an upcoming episode to talk about here and break it down. Like, here are some easy ways when you're in, I call them grief episodes, and grief isn't just with death. It's with, I think, as I define it, anytime you have this picture of how your life is going to look, and all of a sudden it doesn't, and it's fast, and it's not your choice. So whether that's surprise medical diagnosis, packing away the baby clothes that you thought you might have another one, losing a job, friendships breaking up. I mean, all of those, I think, are times when we can stop and say, whoa, things don't look like how they should. So, how do I honor what was, grieve what is happening, and move forward at the same time? It's really hard. I don't know the answers. It's really hard to do.
When my mom passed, and it's been 25 years, here's mom and dad. It's been 25 years, and it took me 10 years to get out of slump one, as I would call it. 10 years to get out of the first slump. And I was talking to a couple people that I've done workshops with or have co-facilitated retreats. And finally, it's coming to fruition. We're doing this retreat next year. Haven't gotten the place locked in yet, but about abandonment and loss. How do we go through abandonment and loss? And that's on many levels, because I think, for me personally, being in 5 foster homes before I was 18 months old, that I did not realize that I made bad choices in relationships because of that. And when mom and dad both left within 18 months and being an only child, that was like, what do I do? Exactly. We're going to go back to that. How do I do this?
Yeah.
How do I do this? How do I mean, I cried in the doctor's office when I was single at that time, and I didn't know who to put as an emergency contact.
Yeah. And it's those little things. I mean, I remember I really lost it one morning in the winter. I had my yearly eye exam near the first of the year, and you have to update your medical records, and nobody tells you every doctor's appointment you have in the year, whether it's dentist, eye doctor, your physical. With me, I have a few other things I have to see, but everyone updates your family history. And now I'm used to it. I'll say used to it, but the first 2 times it knocked the blocks out from under me for the whole day. And it's little things that it's not Mother's Day. It's a random Tuesday eye doctor appointment when all of a sudden I have to check the box and put the date. My mother passed. You notice I still have a hard time saying the D word. And the reason why.
It is, every day's different, right? Every day is different. Lisa Randall says, it took me a very long time to pull through my grief. And, she recently lost her mom. And
So sorry, Lisa.
And then going up, sorry, Amanda. Amanda said, I work with dying patients all the time and know important things to watch and listen for as they are reaching the end of their lives here on earth. But when my mom said something poignant the day she died, I almost missed it. I'm so glad you listened and made that connection with Elias.
Me too.
Charla, good to see you, my friend. And Kimberly Meredith, thank you guys for being on here. Appreciate you being here. Laura says you're tall to me. Thanks, Laura. Good to see you. Mandy says, I don't know about you, but I swear once I got on this road, just when I think I've got it figured out, something and I'm learning another level of who I am. It's awesome and crazy at the same time. I totally get the WTFs.
Yeah.
I get it. Putting yourself on the back burner and putting yourself first is hard work, but worth it. Lisa Randall says, I understand that, Ryan, 100%. Amanda says, new Elton John song, The Bitch Won't Come Back.
And I love it. I don't know if you know this, Amanda, but Elton John is my all-time favorite performer. I have seen him in concert 18 times. So I don't know if you saw something on social media that you made that connection, or if you just divinely made it. Good on you. But yeah, the bitch ain't coming back.
Charlotte says, same, lost mom last January. And losing losing your mother is a different kind of pain. It sure is. I mean, I don't think people understand it until it happens, and it can be different for everyone. But when we have the connections that we do with our moms, like we do, it's even though here's the thing, everybody, even though I do the work that I do, even though I do the, psychic medium stuff, the coaching stuff, it was August 16th. And I told the story before. August 16th was in the Greek church. And I know it's huge in the Catholic church. I don't know if it's big in the Episcopalian church, but it's the day that the Virgin Mary passes, right?
Yeah.
So huge celebration. It was one of my mom's favorite. Always got dragged to church because she's like, we do not honor the Virgin Mary. Like,
got it.
So I have a picture of the Virgin Mary and the baby Jesus over here on my meditation cloth, and I looked at that and I said, holy, religious day, did the sign of the cross, and then I look at my mom and I busted out crying. And it's 25 years later. Busted out crying, and I'm like, I just want you to be here. I know that you are doing more work now for me than you could when you were here, but I just want to say, hey, I just finished my 55th retreat. Hey, guess what? I'm going to be on TV again. Hey, guess what? I'm going to be on a great podcast. Those little pieces, I just want to say, I understand it, but even the work that I do, I just want them here.
Yeah. I mean, with the day my podcast debuted, I was going to the station to do some press, and I was so excited, and I had bought myself a new hot pink dress, which my mom, that's my favorite color, but she always wanted me to she loved me in a jewel tone. And so I bought a jewel tone hot pink dress, and I got in the car and, hooked up Waze, because you don't go anywhere in Atlanta without using Waze. I had my pump up music going, and I don't know how long it was, but for just a second, it was like, let me call mom and tell her about my wait.
Right.
I'm in the car to go do press about a podcast that I started because she passed, and I still had that. And then I was like, am I losing it? Because logically, I'm a smart woman, but it was just that moment, that glitch. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I won't call and tell her about my new dress.
Yeah. But here's the piece for everyone. Hey, Geegan, thanks for being here. Here's a piece for everyone. We go to and I'm not saying, guys, that you need to be perky and bubbly and happy. Be who you are in that moment. But then I'm so grateful that I had that connection. I'm so grateful that I would want to call my mom. Some people are like, oh, that's when she was a bitch. I'm not gonna go ahead and call her, right? But I'm so grateful, and I say thank you for teaching me how to honor you. Thank you for teaching me how to honor women. Thank you for teaching me how to know the strength that it took to get through your funeral. Thank you for teaching me how to leave dad in ICU unconscious to go to your wake and stand at that casket alone and have the strength to do that. Thank you for teaching me that the strength is within no matter what. My mom always said to me, and these words meant so much. And I used to be like, okay, mom, thanks, mom. All right. But when she said to me, honey, never be afraid. God is on your side, always. Always. He was on your grandfather's side when he left Greece when he was 16, and he got that dream. God gave me a dream to find you. So yeah, I'm going to lose it now. Hang on. almost. And she said, your love within and my love for you will never end. And when I do the work that I do, and she didn't come to me for a year, I was like, I've disappointed her.
Mm.
I disappointed her. She's mad or she's disappointed. And that anger and that guilt kept me from hearing her, even though the signs were there. Even though the signs were there, I think back, I'm like, wow. But that kept me. And the moment I forgave myself, that was when the floodgates opened. And I was like, yeah, even at her funeral, my mom's favorite bird was a robin. We had 12 robins in a circle around the whole people as we were putting roses on top of the casket. It's
Mm.
crazy. It's crazy. Let me go to some of the comments. Guys, please feel free to ask Ryanne
Oh, yeah.
questions, guys. Let's see. Amanda says, sometimes I just want her hugs. Yeah.
Oh, same.
Yep. Me Spark says, I've experienced astronomical compiled grief. What what you guys are doing is amazing to help people. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I still can't listen to Amazing Grace without bawling, and it's been 20 years since grandma passed.
Mm.
I lost both parents in 2015, dad first, then mom died. I really felt like an orphan. Okay, Lisa says, I watch thunder and lightning storms and cry. My dad and I would watch them. I cry watching General Hospital. Mama and I watched that show religiously.
Lisa, that was my mom's favorite show. And when my life became so full that I couldn't watch General Hospital anymore with her and like go back and forth, she was like, stop. And so she would still keep me updated. So I love that you mentioned that.
Lisa, I know I have your permission because I said it on the TikTok. So I'm doing readings on TikTok, just for fun, right? And Lisa's mother butts in all the time. She comes in, I'm like, here's your mom, Lisa. Here's your mom. Like, and then she's like, I'm sorry, my family. And afterwards, Lisa's like, okay, I've told my mother, she's got to get other people, a thing. So then I scroll the TikTok and I close my eyes and I stop and I land on Lisa, and it's Lisa's grandfather that comes in. Wouldn't you know, I hear her mother's voice in my ear going, I got in somehow.
That's hilarious.
It's hysterical. It's hysterical. I tell my mom and fiance the human me misses the human you all the time. I love that.
Mm.
Right, big hugs, girl. Big hugs. Ryanne, you can talk to her anytime you want. She will hear you. Yep. Very grateful for my parents.
Jennifer, having a hard time getting to that place. I don't know. It's like my logical brain kicks in and it's like, well, I don't know. I'm struggling still with that.
So I'm going to ask you a question. You open to it?
Yes.
If your mom was here, okay, if she was here, and we're just we're not saying this. If your dad was to go, right, and it was your mom still here, what would your mom say? What advice would she give you about talking to your dad?
He's here.
Right.
He hears you. There's no way he doesn't.
Right.
He's just transformed forms.
Right. Because she's got the Sylvia Brown book, so she would know.
Knows.
She would know.
Yes. And I mean, I think that's, yeah.
No.
But my dad would even say this too, as in our family dynamic was she was the nurturer. She asked the questions and did the things. And, my dad has a lot of wonderful personalities, but he's not my mom.
Right. Right. I get it. And it was hard. It was hard. I mean, the funny thing was having older parents, I'm like, God, if mom goes, as much as I would miss her, it would be easier than if dad goes first and then I have to deal with my grief and my mother's.
Mm.
That would have been super, super heavy. And I would have, as an empath, I would have felt it even more. My dad started drifting off, like dementia hit right after the funeral.
Mm.
Um, Lisa says, "My poor daddy, Mama is pushy." Ryanne, you are 100%. And then, not Sylvia. Yes, yeah, yeah. Rachel says, in 2016, I lost all my family and friends. I felt lost, confused, and totally perplexed.
Mm.
And it continues to be hard. Hello, Fly Girl. Thanks for being here. So, questions for Ryanne? Anybody about the podcast? Um, you know, here's non question. What is it like to be a media lawyer?
Well, a lot of people hear entertainment and media lawyer and they think, oh, she's just like hanging out at the Grammys. It is not that. I have done that. I have gone to award shows. A lot of times it is, I write a lot. I'm a transactional attorney. And what that means is, creative works, unlike real property, so a home or land or a piece of jewelry where you can hold it in your hand and you can define it and it has an address. Works of the mind and creative works are only defined by what's written on the page and how they work. And so I spend a lot of time drafting and writing very good and clear agreements related to what we are creating. I spend a lot of time um, managing personalities, we'll say, because you have agents and you have talent and you have the business unit people and you have the sales people. And so a lot of time I'm like Kermit the Frog wrangling the Muppets trying to put on the Muppet Show because if you're familiar with the Muppets, Gonzo's his own person, and then you got Miss Piggy, and then you got Fozzie Bear, and they're all delightful, and it takes all the Muppets to put on the show, which is true in entertainment. It takes every piece, including me. But I'm Kermit kind of wrangling everybody in, saying, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this. Where is this? Where is that? Okay, yes, okay, Gonzo, no, you cannot go out of the cannon. Have you run this past risk management and gotten the insurance? And so my job is really forecasting a lot, not only seeing the glass half empty, but sometimes imagining what happens if the milk spills all over the table, and how are we going to clean it up? And then articulating that to the business people to say, okay, well, you can do this. Here's the risk. Let's think through also how can we monetize this, and thinking up like long-term strategy. So all that to say, it's so varied. When my phone rings, I really don't know what's on the other side. It's a lot of fun though. I really enjoy what I do. I do not go to court. If we need to litigate something, we hire litigators because my job is very connecting people, connecting the pieces, making the puzzle come together, and thinking through strategically, okay, like partnering with the business and the creative. I'm sort of the bridge that brings everybody together.
And that's a big job. I mean, that's a big job. That's a
Yeah.
lot. Like, you're not only spinning the plates, but you're guiding the poles that are holding the plates up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you. So I have an online planner, but I keep a paper planner too, and I'll just let you glance. Like that's 5 days for me.
Wow.
So and I have it color coded so that I make sure, do it.
I love the color code. I color code
um,
my stuff too.
yeah. But to also, and while I love my job though, right now, especially with my son being the age he is, my highest and best calling is being his mother. And everybody I work with knows that. Like if if with my assistant, she knows that if certain numbers call, she is to interrupt. And thankfully, my colleagues are amazing. They really are. My boss is amazing. If I'm like, I can, he's on the West Coast with you, and so if we had a night where we had the little kid vomits all night, I could send him a message, be like, look, I'm gonna sleep until whatever. I gotta get some, but he trusts me that I'm gonna get my work done.
Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah, so there's a good level of trust and there too.
You got everybody excited about the Muppets. Jennifer says, wait, could I be Animal?
Absolutely.
Regina says, what a fun job. Hey, Regina, you're also from Alabama. Are you? I heard you're coming. I heard you're coming to the event, girl, on the 26th. Let us know. Ren says, Ryanne, you wear a lot of hats. She sure does.
And then somewhere I decided to start a podcast, which
of course, why not? Why not?
not?
Ryan, you are the sweetest. Very sweet. Amanda says, I'll take Beaker. That way I can say what I want and no one will know.
That's
good.
That's really good. Wise. I enjoy that.
Look like she has it all written down too. Every box is full. You're funny. You're funny, Lisa Randall, because I know what that means. Yes, she does wear a lot of different hats. You're right. I need to buy my ticket. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to be there, Regina.
She's going to be there. So, y'all can talk about y'all. See, I said it, Lisa Randall. Y'all can talk about Alabama days. Because where, Regina, are you in Alabama? Kelly Knight. Hey, Kelly. Popping in to say hi. Thanks, girl, for popping in. Can you give us a sneak peek if you don't mind? You don't have to. But can you tell people what's coming up in the next couple episodes? Like what to look forward to?
Yeah, so we have 3 episodes out now on all the major platforms, including YouTube. If you search "How do I do this" and my name Ryan, you can find it. The first episode is very different than the rest because I really want to introduce you to my mom and why I started this. You got a little preview tonight. And the second episode is about faith, because for me, and this is a show I was creating, that's so much of who I am that I said, okay, well, that's where we start, right? And so the episode that was released yesterday is about mental health. It's all the questions. It's the resource I wish was out there when I first said, you know what, I think I could feel better. And I'd reached the end of Google trying to find help. And so the psychiatrist I talked with, I think she did a wonderful job really walking people through, like, how do you find the right person? What questions do you ask? Okay, so you found somebody and now it's not working. How do you break up with a therapist? Is this a thing, right? So it's so good. So then this upcoming week is the episode with Elias. I called it, there's this whole thing about hot tea. And so every episode is named The Tea. And so his episode is The Tea. I talked with a medium and I love Jesus too, because in the South, I grew up in a church where it would have been very frowned upon, not even talked about. Like you could probably talk about, drinking liquor before you say I talked to a medium. And so I wanted to recognize my past, but the fact that when your mom passes, all of a sudden you're like, okay, like what the hell, I'll do anything. I just, and so that's that episode. I can't really remember in order, but I told y'all about the episode with my friend Emily, where we talk about, it's called The Tea, sequins sweatpants in the shape of survival. There's also an episode with 2 of my best girlfriends that is called Mimosas and Moo-Moos, and the moms who hold me together. And we talk about, because both of them are so different in their experience with me, in their proximity to how close they live to me, also in the length of time they've known me. But both of these women, Devin and Rachel, did an amazing job showing up as friends. And I wanted the world to see and hear from them of what it looks like to be a friend to someone in this space. And to be a friend to somebody like me, who I'm like, I don't need no help. I got this. Leave me alone. But they still showed up. And to hear how they did that. What are the other episodes? We recorded them 8 weeks ago, so it's hard for me to remember right now.
If you give me a moment, I can. I know I had it on here, and it's a little high
Oh,
tech.
there's an episode about yoga, about breath
Okay.
work, um, where I talked to one of my favorite yoga teachers and how practicing on the mat has helped me move through the difficult spaces in life in this space. Um, yeah, I think that might be it. We initially did 8 episodes, so the episode with Emily, the episode with my friends, the yoga episode. I'm missing one.
And I'm looking for it as we're talking. So I'm multitasking, everybody. I know I'm not going to press any buttons and ruin it, guys. You know that what happens is I press buttons, Ryanne, and sometimes I lose. I'm like, wait, what I just these gosh darn Greek sausage fingers, and I have lost people and lost self, and of course I can't find it now because I'm afraid that I'm gonna press something that I shouldn't
Yeah,
be
well,
pressing.
they're I could probably look too. They're on the Instagram page. How do I do this pod is where you can find me on Instagram. I also, outside of the show, share just thoughts I'm having, and sort of just what that looks like. Oh, the physical, fueling a body that feels broken, the role that movement has played in my life, what eating has looked like in this space for me. Newsflash, sometimes good and sometimes not so good. You know, what the idea of comfort food, as somebody who struggled with body image and eating in the past. I found myself going back to some habits that I knew didn't serve me. But also, yeah, I talk with a registered dietitian, and real practical, like every show I love that I'm like, give people a practical
Right,
takeaway.
right.
And so, because I found in my grief, there were times I did not feel like eating. I had no appetite. I thought if I put one bite of anything in my mouth, I was going to be sick. And then there were times where I'm like, I don't care, just like a pint of ice cream will be amazing. But sugar fuels anxiety. I mean, that's not helping me feel better, right? And so, sort of, how do I pull myself out of those spaces? The hope is we're going to record another group of 10 to start being released in October, and I'm super excited about the ideas there. And I'm going to talk with some more people, to start weaving in some stories of resilience and how they've gotten through hard things in their life too. Because I think, especially in 2025, we're all just walking around with these invisible backpacks of heavy rocks.
Mhm.
We don't talk about it, especially in the South. Um, and to give space to say, pain is pain.
Right.
And maybe if somebody can feel less alone, that was one thing that was very surprising with me about grief. Is I even had that thought today, like it's very lonely. And I'm fortunate I have wonderful friends, but I recognize that that's not the story for everybody. So maybe these conversations I'm having, this community I'm creating on Instagram, can be a place where people feel less alone, even if just for a moment. If I post something silly about Taylor Swift and grief, or Elton John and grief, or I don't know, if grief were a Muppet, what would it be? And
Right.
give somebody a chuckle, you know?
You do it, and I said it on my little promo um, before we started tonight. I said that you do this with heart, with grit, And I said that vulnerability is your superpower. And you are doing an amazing job. You are helping others to heal through their process by them hearing and listening to you.
That's so kind.
It's true. It's very true. It's very true. So, guys, we are gonna wrap it up, and you are welcome to come back anytime you want.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all are all so kind, and thank you for the kind comments, and thank you for having me, Elias.
Anytime.
You're such a gem, and I'm so fortunate that our paths crossed in the most divine way, and truly a divine way.
I would agree. I would agree. And I have to say, guys, if you didn't catch it, if you didn't write it down, write it down. How do I do this? Go to Instagram. You can also find it on YouTube. Just put in how do I do this and then put with Ryanne podcast in there. You're going to find it. You're going to see it. Our episode is on Tuesday. It hits Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So that's 6 a.m. Pacific, and that's 5 o'clock Pacific, yeah, and 6 o'clock Central. So go ahead and check it out. It was a lot of fun to do, and it was good. Also, if you are in the Atlanta, Georgia area, I'll let you know when it happens, but I'm going to be on Fox 5, the Portia Show. So that's going to happen. We're doing the filming on the 26th as well. And then there's more. And then
number 2.
Yeah, in the evening, come to, I got to say it this way, come to Alpharetta. Come to Alpharetta. Right? Yeah. Alpharetta? Yeah. Come to Alpharetta. And we're going to do Messages from Above. There's limited spots, guys. It's not a big, huge space. It's a beautiful space, but it's not huge and big. So come. The info is on eliaspatras.com under the events, and just go to eliaspatras.com and you'll see it under events. And there's a little surprise. I did a little outro just for Ryanne. It's brand new. No one's seen it. So it's really cute because I wanted something like cute, perky, and like fun. And you all know that I'm having fun on Canva. So take a look, take a peek. Remember, guys, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And when we educate, we grow. There is unity in community. Real talk gets real answers. From our hearts to yours. Be well, everybody. And we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Be well.